My name is HAKEEM Adenekan. I work for Commstrat Association Group, and the group consists of so many organizations within the system. We're into branding, we're into communication, we're into publishing, we're into public relations, as well as total marketing communication. I've been practicing this business for the past 18 years after I've worked for so many other agencies both in Nigeria and abroad in South Africa. And at the end of the day, we realize that the most important thing for us is what are we adding value, and what kind of value are we adding to the Nigerian economy and to the people in terms of our industry, the advertising and communication business. And we work on so many major brands in Nigeria and added value to them. And some of them are doing well, some are not, due to the economic policies of Nigeria. But as a result, if you look at it, you win some, you lose some. And I attended Ogun State Polytechnic for my HND. I was also at Lagos Business School for my CEP 17, that we call Chief Executive Program. I was also at Cranfield University in UK for my postgraduate Chief Executive course in marketing, as well as University of Navarra in Spain, Barcelona, for short executive course in management. My first ever big idea surrounds the area of our cultural development. I am a child of culture. I'm a Yoruba man. I believe so much in Nigerian culture, and particularly, like people do say, charity begins at home. When we were growing up in our primary school days, we were studying and we were being taught the kiddies rhymes. We were taught both the European and the Yoruba rhymes. And the Obafemi Awolowo generation decided that basically if the English version of the rhymes were good, twinkle twinkle little star, how I wonder what you are. But at the same time, they are not saying those are not good. But how do we now make sure that they reorientate and make sure that our own heritage is sustained? Based on that, we were taught so many Yoruba rhymes and we grew up with that. But at the end of the day, what made me to decided that I would try and sustain what the late Obafemi Awolowo and his group gave to us was that the Yoruba rhymes and Yoruba language is being threatened. And if we are not careful, it will go into extinction. As a result, I gathered so many eggheads who really know the onions, and their onions rather. So what we now did was that we decided to now put together all Yoruba children rhymes in jingle form, the way we were taught in primary school. We didn't stop at that. I also now decided that we need to put it in book format, colorful book format, so that the legacy of Awolowo and the next generation, they will be able to meet it. So we put all the kiddies rhymes in Yoruba format, in colorful book format, in jingle rhymes format, and also we shot them as films and animation. It took us about 10 years to put together, and at the end of the day we have them in our archive, all Yoruba rhymes for kiddies in Yoruba book, translated into English, Yoruba jingle translated to English, Yoruba film of each of all the rhymes translated into English. So that has been archived. We've done that and we put them in better perspective. So we have those three materials. An example of this archival material I'm talking about in sustaining the heritage of our people as Yoruba, as a nation, as a people. You realize that the British, when we were being taught in those old days, they were said Mary and the Lamb. Everybody knows that. But the Awolowo generation now changed it and translated into Yoruba. Like for example, take this for example. Mary lomo àgùntàn funfun kékeré kan. Tonke igbe àlàáfíà, ura ni fún Mary, ura fàgùntàn, ura f'olùkọ́ tí ń kọ́ wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́, níbikíbi tí Mary lọ làgùntàn tẹ̀lé. Tonke igbe àlàáfíà. And like we always say now, under the orange tree. The Yoruba version is also lábẹ́ igi òrombó, ibẹ̀ la gbé ń ṣeré wa. Inú wa dùn, ara wa yá, Lábẹ́ igi Orombo. Those of us that are even very playful and very funny, we say Orombo, we end it like that. So we've archived over 200 Yoruba kiddies rhymes and translated into English with subtitles in book format, like I said, in jingle, at the same time in film. So I think that's one of the ideas that has really hit me in putting this together. I looked around Nigeria. In recent time, maybe in the last 15-20 years, what everybody runs about, most, not all, what most Nigerians run after is wealth, riches. We don't keep our record. Nigerians are very bad in keeping record. Nigeria, even as a nation, is very bad in keeping record. We have lost so many materials that are supposed to be ours, that the next generation supposed to basically meet, and they will be able to know where Nigeria is coming from, where it is, and they will also it will now be a kind of where they will now build blocks on top of what all their generations in the past have done. Then, some time ago, like I said, my greatest idea, I went to the US for a conference and a meeting, business meeting. Between New York and Washington State, Seattle, is 7 hours by air. It's even farther than Lagos to London. So while on board the Continental Airline, I saw a coffee table book talking about that specific state and city. So for the 7 hours I read through, it was a colorful, illustrated photography book with short, each paragraph describing each of the pictures. And something hit me, said, I'm from Abeokuta, I'm from Nigeria. Why can't I do something like this? In such a way, in a coffee table book that will say the history of Abeokuta, of my town, from 1830 that the town was founded till the present day. Then immediately I got back to Nigeria. It was a huge task, but I gathered my team and we had to make sure that first of all, we had to go to Abeokuta and make sure we got all the historical facts about the town from 1830 to date. And all the locations, we took our photographer, who is an industrial photographer, every location that really matters, telling the story of Abeokuta from 1830 to date in book format. Coffee table book, 70% photography illustration with the story around each of the pictures. So as a result, at the end of the day, we ended having 257 page book, and both in hard copy and soft copy and the paperback, and we printed in Singapore for high res and high resolution. And the book is in the market, and that's a huge one for me. And after I finished the Abeokuta, it was launched, and at the end of the day, the passion that I have in me said, okay, you got to go ahead. Ogun State, let's cover Ogun State first and make sure that we document most major towns. So the 4 major towns, I started all over again. I went to the Awujale, and we now did the history of Ijebu land from page 1 to the last page, talking about the major locations in Ijebu land, covering everywhere. Is in coffee table book. We also now left Ijebu, we went to Ijebu Remo. We started from Shagamu and all the towns in the whole of Remo land. We covered it, trying to bring out the history of the people, because our people are very lazy in reading. So we need to give them what is colorful. So the book is 70% pictorial and 30% words. So as a result, when we finished the Remo, we also now had to go to the 4th region or division of Ogun State, that is the Yewa Awori land. And we also covered the major locations and telling the story in pictorial nature with words and every other thing that is needed. And that took us almost about 5 years to complete. At the end of the day, we have the history of Abeokuta, Ijebu land, Yewa Awori land, and Remo land in coffee table book, colorful book. So as a result, with their city. So as a result, I believe that God has been very kind, and it has been very, very, very tortuous. But at the end of the day, we achieved our aim. My worst idea, or I call it my worst venture, basically is that when I've decided that I have always all my life been into advertising, branding, and all that, and I looked around that okay, maybe I should do what we call backward integration, and okay, maybe like some of the books we have read that you need to have multiple income source of income or multi-layer source of income. So I had to go into partnerships with 2 or 3 other people that we had to go to somewhere that okay, we needed to start farming. So let's go into cassava production and all that and farming. We had to go and buy land somewhere after Abeokuta, around Nodeda, going to Ibadan and all that. We got it done. We raised money from, venture capitalists. We raised money from banks, and we put all our resources together. We bought the land, but we are not expert in farming. We are not expert in agriculture. So by the time the seed or the proceed will come out at the end of the day after we have planted and all that, we realized that we were only able to cover 30% of the money that we have already, or capital we have already put into the business. As a result, I've learned that okay, how not to do it in business. But at the end of the day, it is an experience, because from every nonsense there is a sense in it. So I've been able to understand the nitty-gritty. I also have taken some lessons from that venture. So many people around me, like I said, I am a child of culture and tradition. I grew up with Yoruba cultural and traditional music. I'm talking about Sakara music, Apala music, Fuji music, and let me just mention those 3. But Sakara is the main one, and Apala, that I really have real passion for. Take for example, there's hardly any Sakara music or song, let me put it that way, that I cannot sing offhand. So as a result, we all can see now that the new generation that we are now is hip hop and all that. Juju is still trying to survive. All of them is that, but the Sakara music has almost gone into extinction after the demise and transition of those progenitors that brought the music to Yoruba land. However, in 2015, I called some of my boss and I said, look guys, I want to see how I could revive Sakara music to meet the modern day and also play side by side with the current trend in terms of hip hop and all that. They said I was crazy, because who is going to listen to Sakara except in the confines of their homes? And I said I wanted to do Sakara concerts. And they said, nobody will come for Sakara music concert. How will you do it? It's crazy in this present generation that people don't really appreciate their culture, Yoruba culture. They don't speak Yoruba language. They don't want any affinity with Yoruba culture and tradition. I said it could be done. And myself and my partner, Bola Dabiri, we now sat down and we now put it in perspective how it could be done. So at the end of the day, the very first one that we had was in 2015. It was a very small crowd, but we had our way. People came, almost about 150 or 200 people. They attended. The gate fee was free. We looked for sponsors and we got. But it was from that 2015 that some of my friends that said I was crazy at that time now said, I think this your craziness is looking more like positive wise. I said, okay. We gave ourselves 2 years, myself and Bola Dabiri. We reworked and we replanted. The Sakara concert, we now took it to bigger level and higher level. That craziness in me now allowed me with my partner, we now took it to Freedom Park, where 500 people now came for the concert. They attended, people from all walks of life, high elites, high net worth individuals, that people will not even believe that they listen to Sakara, but people always use that within the confines of their homes or their car. But now somebody as crazy as he is has brought it out into the limelight and trying to retain, sustain, and also now put it in their face. So when we had over 500, attendees that attended that concert in 2015, something told me that there is something bigger in this. Definitely I must be crazy, but crazy in a positive way. So in 2019, that we are just about 3 weeks ago, Professor Wole Soyinka had 85th birthday, And it was during the festival of Lagos Book Fair that people came from all over the world, in Europe, Caribbean, America, and Nigeria, and Cotonou, and neighboring countries. So within that program, Sakara Music Concert was given as a slot, where we had an evening that rounded off the whole program of 1 week for Professor Oleshinka's 85th birthday at Freedom Park again, and we had over 400 guests and attendees from all over the world and Nigeria that attended. But at the end of the day, some of those guys said I was crazy. Really, I was crazy in trying to put Sakara in the face of everybody in the present generation. But it has come to stay, and we are taking it to the international level now from next year, by the grace of God. My failed venture, in business, I will classify it as when, as a businessman, and I've been in advertising for almost about 2 decades, and I realized, from the books I've been reading, I've read, and some of the things I've been exposed to, and I realized that I need to do what we call backward integration. We need to also diversify. So I decided with 1 or 2 other guys, we bought lands for farming. Our aim was to go into agriculture business and specialized in cassava. And at the end of the day, we planted, we did everything possible. We paid workers, we did what we needed to do in making sure that at least it becomes a veritable and profitable venture for us. But at the end of the day, because we were not too grounded in that area, in the farming and agricultural business, and when the time for harvest came, we realized that the only thing we could get was about 30% of our investment from that venture. As a result, we learned our lessons that, we should have involved some experts in the academia or the local people. And I also now realize that, the people that you call illiterates who are in the villages, they are not illiterates and they are not uneducated, because that is their line. So we should have tried to make sure that we brought them on board so that they will have given us the expertise about farming and agriculture. But we felt that we are coming from the city and we are high class or we are elites. Well, at the end of the day, we burnt our fingers, and the lessons from there is that you must always ask for people who know the way to show you the way. It is not about being in the 4 wall of classroom or you have certificate that determines that, okay, you go into any business and you want to succeed. There are intricacies and lessons and also some what we call guidelines for you to go into such businesses. You must know what you need to do. If you look at the Nigerian broadcasting landscape, the cultural and traditional inclined contents are not too many. So as a result, instead of criticizing, the most important thing for me now is that, and some other guys that I'm trying to work with, because a tree does not make a forest, is that, okay, if we are looking at the broadcasting landscape and the contents are not too rich in terms of Nigeria in perspective. So what is giving me sleepless nights and my team is, how can we now bring about yesterday, we polished it, and we make it more relevant for today and tomorrow. So we are working on Nigerian quality contents from all languages in such a way that we will be able to sustain the heritage of our people. What I stand for, and I believe, I sleep, I eat, I drink Nigeria. I believe in Nigeria in spite of all the challenges, in spite of all what we are facing. I know that Rome was never built in a day. America is over 200 years. Nigeria will be 60 next year. Yes, we will stumble, but at the end of the day, God will give us that person that will be able to lead us to the promised land the way Joshua led the Israelites to the land of milk and honey. But I believe that the Nigerian broadcasting stations, there are too many. But we don't have enough traditional Nigerian content. I don't call it local content. Because the most important thing for us with our content is to think global and we act local. So those are the things that are germane, that are disturbing me, giving me sleepless night. Not only me, my team, because I don't work alone. The man I'm looking forward to meet in the nearest future is somebody of high quality, high integrity, and he has shown the world within 8 years that truly he is a leader of high quality, and he was purposeful and is still purposeful. This person I'm talking about is Barack Hussein Obama, the former president of America. He has what they call high quality leadership. He knows his onions. He is a man, the way he dresses, everything about him, the way he speaks, his courage, his mien, and the way he delivers his messages. And he gave America hope. He gave them promise, and he kept the promise. And the American hope is what Donald Trump is building on. I don't want to know, but at the end of the day, I am looking forward to meet Barack Hussein Obama and ask him question, how did you do it? Because if you read the history of America, why they call it White House, how could a black man be in the White House? And he never had scandal. He never had scandal, whether sexual or whatever, or vulgar language or foul language. No man is perfect. No man is infallible. But I think with the grace of God and the way he has been able to manage himself as a good leader, I'm using that adjective, as a good leader, he has been able to succeed. And he's still, no hair around him. And I begin to ask myself every day, I've always been asking myself, how did he do it? So I'm looking forward to see him by the grace of God and ask him some salient questions so that will be able to guide me as I'm growing and also to be able to impact such on the next generation. By the special grace of God, and I am a Muslim, and as a Muslim, every second is a bonus for you. Because Allah says in the Quran, you can be recalled anytime. No specific time. So for us to have come this far, I'm over 50, my prayer, my supplication to my God, Allah, is that by the time I reach the age of 60, I want to leave the active service of the kind of business I'm running now, because the adrenaline in advertising business, sleepless night, and the kind of tussle you go through, and the jamming of your brain, both physical and mental, wherever. I am getting tired gradually in terms of advertising business. But I pray to God to spare my life. I am praying that by the time I'm 60, I want to retire from active branding, communication, advertising business. And my aim is that, we don't give back in Nigeria. Is to now go back to the classroom and begin to impact the knowledge I've been able to gain over the years that Allah has been able to give me. So to go back and impact on the next generation without taking one kobo, it will be free of charge. I'll begin to now consult to different institutions and students how to do it, how not to do it, so that they can now leverage on that and make Nigeria and this industry a better nation and a better industry. What is really affecting us in Nigeria is that we all, when we're in school, we talk about and we recite the pledge. Do we follow the Nigerian pledge? I pledge to Nigeria, my country. It is a pledge to be faithful, loyal, and honest. You have taken those three words from the good book of God, the Bible and the Quran, to be faithful, loyal, and honest. To serve Nigeria with all my strength. And that's what I'm doing now. At the end of the day, in retirement, you will look back. Have you served Nigeria with all your strength? To defend our unity, uphold our honor and glory, So help me God. If you uphold Nigerian honor and glory, there won't be this corruption in our society as a result. So this is one of the things I've taken into consideration, how long we will be running after rats, that people call rat race. How many houses do you want to build? How many money or riches or wealth do you want to take? Someday, sometime, somehow, you come with nothing, you are going to go back with nothing. That's my philosophy. I, HAKEEM Adenekan, what I believe that every leader, anyone that calls himself a leader, the major characteristics that he or she needs is what? Attitude. Attitude is everything. Let me tell you something. Let's do this arithmetic. Let's do this let's from A, B, C, D to Z in British language or alphabetical order. Let's now begin to put from A to Z, put 1, 2, 3 to that. By the time you had each word in the whole of dictionary, it is only attitude that gives you 100. All others, love will not give you 100. Affection will not give you 100. Leader will not give you 100. Leadership will not give you 100. Any other words that you put together will not give you 100%. It is only attitude. And if we have the right attitude, Nigeria will not be where it is. There won't be corruption. There won't be chaos. There won't be lying. There won't be, all sorts of challenges we are facing today. So my own belief is that for anybody who is ready to serve and bring he or herself out as a leader, you can lead from anywhere. Our fathers should lead from home with the right attitude. Our mothers should lead from home with right attitude. If we from the nucleus family, we have the right attitude from our parents, we will imbibe it and we'll take into the community with right attitude. With that attitude, we take it into the outside world and into the local government, into the state, into the federal, and into the international. As a result, Nigeria will be in the right place to live. What we are looking for is leadership, and that leadership connotes one word: attitude. In summary, like I said, I studied mass communication at Poly. I studied MBA in marketing. I was at Lagos Business School, like I said, for my chief executive program in management and leadership. I was at Cranfield for my leadership management program. I was at University of Navarra, Spain, for my leadership management program. Well, all in all, what really matters more is that in the last 20-something years, I've been in advertising business, and I've touched so many multinational brands that have been very successful. Some are in existence, some are no more, due to so many other variables: economic factor, policy of government, environmental factor, and human angle. But aside from that, as of today, I have written 7 books. I've authored 7 books. And the most important thing is that I am a reader. I read so much. A nation that reads will give quality leadership. And an individual, if you read, you'll be an author. You can't be an author without reading, because something must have been on the foundation before you put this superstructure. So, I've written 7 books. I've authored 7 books. And the very first colorful Islamic magazine we call Arisala, I co-published it with my friend that we call Maruf Jebel. And that is still the benchmark in Nigeria today. The Arisala magazine is of international, it's like the standard of Time of New York. And it's still in existence, though the economy is really affecting it. For it was from that magazine that all other Islamic magazines or publishers now take a cue from. And our intention then was, let's set the standard. Because how do they see Muslims? We now said, no, we have to set the standard. Do you understand? So I don't want to go into religion. Aside from that, the new venture where I'm trying to put together with my team and my friends because I'm an associate, I can't do it. That's why my company's name is Commstrat Associates. So because a tree does not make a forest, I can't do it alone. So I need quality people. So I surround myself with quality people. And that's why I've been able to come this far. So as a result, the most important thing for us in Nigeria, in summary, as we are talking about the picture, is you can't do it alone, but surround yourself with quality and associates. As a result, the sky will be where you are starting from. It will be your springboard. You might not have the whole money in the world, but the most important thing is that go after your passion. It gives you beneficial benefits. At the end of the day, you will be able to have added value to the nation or your environment. My favorite app that I use is the educational app. It's an educational app. I don't want to advertise for them. I don't want to mention it. But each time I go online, 70% of my time, there are two apps, but they are educational based. So if I'm looking for information relating to history, education and all that, and even things that our children like, and those are some of the things those are the two apps that I go after. I don't want to use best, but the two of them, they gives me the benefit of information that I seek all the time to enhance my knowledge and to also now confirm what I think I know, so that I won't just write or speak something that is not in tune with facts. So I think that's what I do. Online, I can be reached or followed on Instagram, as well as Facebook of Abeokuta Beyond the Rocks. That's the very first book that I wrote. So anybody that wants to get me or reach me, I can be reached on Abeokuta Beyond the Rocks online, both on Instagram, Facebook, and all that. At the same time, I can also be reached on LinkedIn. I can also be reached on the evergreen.com. The evergreen is not in the English pronunciation. It is EVAGRIN. So the normal English is evergreen, but the pronunciation is EVAGRIN, evergreen.com. So that's how I can be reached online. But offline, I'm in my study, and maybe I'm on the road trying to see what I can do to make ends meet, and also gathering materials. I think it's been a worthwhile time on this channel and on this station, and I'm very sure that somebody out there or you, our viewers, must have really gained from my messages that I've been able to put forward. And I think the most important thing for us as a people is that who are we? What do we stand for as Nigerians? And how are we going to encourage other Nigerians and our nation to be the best in the world? It is possible. It can be done. All other people in the world, in all the European nations and advanced world, they are human beings like us. And I know that most of the best talents are in Nigeria. And what I have said, I'm one of those people that God has endowed in my own little corner to contribute. And I believe that with what I have been able to put out today on this station and this channel, you must have gained one or two things from it. Like I said, a tree does not make a forest. Nigeria are making forest into so many human endeavors. I believe basically that what I have said and I'm saying to you, that's in terms of contribution to the GDP of Nigeria, to the socio-economic development of Nigeria, that's what RuggedbootsTV is doing, and they are doing it well. I just believe that what they are doing now, so many years to come, Nigerians will believe and really appreciate them. We're appreciating them. If not for that, I won't be here. But I will believe that I have the conviction that in the next few years, RuggedbootsTV will have gone where it has already set its eyes on. That is its official goals. And I believe it will surely be there.